Ever wondered how to turn your kitchen scraps into this lush, green paradise? Welcome to our ultimate guide on composting, where your waste becomes plant gold. Composting is more than just a trend. It's a game changer for your garden and the environment. And the best part, it's simpler than you think. Whether you're living in a city apartment or have a spacious backyard, composting is for everyone. Let's dive into the secrets of creating the perfect compost. First, let's talk about what you can compost. Think of all those kitchen scraps, fruit peels, vegetable scraps, coffee grounds, and even eggshells. These are your greens, rich in nitrogen. And then we have the browns, dry leaves, cardboard, newspaper strips. These are high in carbon and crucial for a balanced compost. The key to successful composting is maintaining a good balance of greens and browns. Aim for a ratio of roughly 3 parts browns to 1 part greens. Next, choose a composting method that suits your space and lifestyle. A compost pile is great for those with a backyard. For limited space, a compost tumbler or a small indoor bin works wonders. Remember to turn your compost regularly to aerate it, which speeds up the decomposition process. Keep an eye on the moisture level. Your compost should be as damp as a wrung-out sponge. Too dry, add some water. Too wet, mix in more browns to absorb the excess moisture. Compost for plants, turning waste into garden gold. Composting is an age-old practice that has gained renewed popularity in recent years, thanks to its numerous benefits for both the environment and our gardens. By turning organic waste into nutrient-rich compost, we can reduce landfill use, lower our carbon footprint, and significantly improve soil health. Here's an in-depth look at the process and benefits of composting for plants. What is composting? Composting is the natural process of recycling organic matter, such as leaves, vegetable scraps, and coffee grounds, into a valuable fertilizer that can enrich soil and plants. This process involves the decomposition of organic materials by microorganisms, which break down the material into humus, a dark, nutrient-rich substance. The basics of composting. Ingredients. 1. Greens. These are rich in nitrogen and include items like fruit and vegetable scraps, coffee grounds, and grass clippings. 2. Browns. These materials are high in carbon and include dry leaves, cardboard, and newspaper strips. Moisture. The compost pile should be as moist as a wrung-out sponge. If it's too dry, the decomposition process will slow down. If it's too wet, it can lead to a smelly, anaerobic mess. Aeration. Regularly turning your compost pile ensures that oxygen is evenly distributed, which is vital for aerobic decomposition. This can be done with a pitchfork or a compost tumbler. Size. For efficient composting, a pile should be at least 3 feet wide by 3 feet high. Methods of composting. Compost piles. This traditional method involves creating a heap of compostable materials in a designated area. It requires regular turning to aerate the pile. Vermicomposting. This involves using worms, usually red wigglers, to break down food scraps. It's ideal for indoor composting or small spaces. Benefits of composting for plants. Nutrient-rich soil. Compost is rich in essential nutrients such as nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, which are vital for plant growth. It also contains micronutrients that are often absent in synthetic fertilizers. Improved soil structure. Adding compost to soil improves its structure, increasing its ability to hold moisture and nutrients. This is particularly beneficial for sandy soils, which drain too quickly, and clay soils, which retain too much water. Enhanced microbial activity. Compost introduces beneficial microorganisms to the soil, which help break down organic matter, making nutrients more readily available to plants. These microbes also help protect plants from soil-borne diseases. Reduced need for chemical fertilizers. By enriching the soil with compost, the need for chemical fertilizers is reduced, which can save money and decrease the environmental impact associated with chemical use. Environmental benefits. Composting reduces the amount of organic waste sent to landfills, where it would otherwise produce methane, a potent greenhouse gas. It also recycles nutrients back into the ecosystem, promoting a healthier environment. How to use compost in your garden. 1. Top dressing. Spread a layer of compost around the base of plants to provide a slow-release source of nutrients. 2. Soil amendment. Mix compost into the soil before planting to improve soil structure and fertility. 3. Compost tea. Steep compost in water to create a nutrient-rich liquid fertilizer that can be used for watering plants. Common composting challenges and solutions. While composting is straightforward, beginners may encounter a few common challenges. Here are some tips to overcome them. Foul odors. 2. Solution. Turn the pile more frequently to aerate it and add more browns to absorb excess moisture. Slow decomposition. 1. Problem. If the composting process is slow, it might be due to a lack of nitrogen or insufficient aeration. 2. Solution. Add more green materials to boost nitrogen levels and turn the pile regularly. Pests. 1. Problem. Food scraps can attract pests like rodents and insects. 2. Solution. Bury food scraps under a layer of browns and avoid composting meat, dairy, and oily foods. 2. Using a closed compost bin can also help. 2. Dry. 1. Problem. A dry compost pile won't decompose effectively. 2. Solution. Add water to maintain moisture levels, ensuring the pile is as damp as a wrung-out sponge. 2. Wet. 1. Problem. A soggy compost pile can become anaerobic and smelly. Advanced composting techniques. For those looking to take their composting to the next level, consider these advanced techniques. Hot composting. 1. This method speeds up the decomposition process by maintaining the pile at a higher temperature. 1. It requires frequent turning and a precise balance of greens and browns to achieve and maintain the necessary heat. Bokashi composting. 1. It involves adding scraps to a special bucket with bokashi bran, which contains beneficial microbes. Leaf mold. 1. This involves composting only leaves, which break down into a rich, soil-like material. 1. It's a slow process but results in an excellent soil conditioner. Composting in small spaces. Even if you live in an apartment or have limited outdoor space, you can still compost effectively. Indoor bins. 1. Small compost bins designed for indoor use are perfect for kitchen scraps. 1. Look for models with odor control and aeration features. Worm bins. 1. Vermicomposting bins can fit under sinks or in small closets. 1. Worms do the hard work, and you get nutrient-rich worm castings. Community composting. 1. If home composting isn't feasible, look for community composting programs or drop-off sites in your area. Making the most of your compost. Once your compost is ready, there are numerous ways to utilize it in your garden. Garden beds. 1. Mix compost into garden beds to improve soil structure and fertility before planting. Container plants. 1. Add compost to potting mix to enhance nutrient content for container-grown plants. Lawn care. 1. Spread a thin layer of compost over your lawn as a natural fertilizer and soil conditioner. Tree and shrub care. 1. Use compost as mulch around trees and shrubs to retain moisture, suppress weeds, and provide nutrients. Conclusion. Composting is an eco-friendly practice that transforms organic waste into a valuable resource for your garden. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or just starting, composting can help you grow healthier plants, reduce waste, and contribute to a more sustainable world. By understanding the basics, overcoming common challenges, and exploring advanced techniques, you can make the most of your composting efforts. Start composting today and watch your garden thrive like never before. Spread your compost around your plants and watch them thrive. You've not only reduced waste but also created something truly valuable for your. So, start composting today and transform your waste into the ultimate plant gold. Your garden and the planet will thank you.